Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Randomania. Tonight, we have the Final Fantasy IV Free Enterprise Randomizer Weekly Race. Good evening, everyone. I am Z-Man05, and with me tonight in the commentator's booth is the one, the only, Invenerable. Inven, how you doing tonight, sir?
I'm doing great. Always a treat to be in the commentator's booth for the Free Enterprise Weekly Races, and I think we're going to have a real good one tonight.
Yeah, let's talk about the flags that we're running a little bit tonight, because these are a little, well, let's say devious. Would that be a good word?
I think that's pretty accurate. Yeah, we have after the last 2 weeks of sweetheart flags and seeds with all the loot you could possibly want, we've decided to crack down on easy mode tonight and actually bump it up a little bit. My personal least favorite, or favorite, since I am in the commentator's booth, has to be E0. If any of our players want to go hunting for loot in enemy-infested areas, they're going to have to deal with those encounters every step of the way.
Yeah, the encounters are going to be a fun thing. So, you know our runners' L and R buttons are going to be worn out by the time tonight ends, because you have to hold L and R in order to run away. The other interesting flags that we have set tonight are K2, T2, and S2. K2 means that the key items are randomized amongst the key item locations and among the summons and among the lunar bosses. So that's going to be interesting, but now we're throwing a twist into it. Now the pass is considered a key item in this flag set. So the pass could actually be on the moon. 18 key items to deal with instead of 17, and they are mixed up amongst 28 spots, I believe, instead of the default 17. So a lot more places to go hunting as well. Yeah, exactly. And to do this hunting, they have a little less firepower. S2 and T2 means that they are relatively vanilla comparable. In the overworld, you'll probably see a maximum of silver, maybe diamond stuff available to be purchased. And in the underground, man, you're going to be lucky if you see an ogre axe. So, it's going to be interesting to see if some of our runners dive into some of the dungeons and look at some of the monster trapped chests, because the monster trapped chests are what really going to hold the goods tonight. Since they can have anything from the endgame pool as well. Classic items that you would get by fighting, the Wyvern for the Crystal Sword, or Ogopogo for the Masamune. You may be able to get it from a simple Flame Dog in the Tower of Zot, if you're lucky. If you're lucky. And now it could be really interesting, because if we are hook required, it could be really interesting to see what's in that Rubicant spot. And we'll talk about that as we get there, but that Rubicant spot can be a big time gatekeeper if the right boss is there. So we'll get to that if we need to. Definitely. The other things, though, it's not all bad. We're talking about how the seed has some, nastiness in store possibly with these flags, but there's good stuff, too. We do have the J flag active all the way up to 2, so all those items that were dummied out of the US release, Boardface has put them back in for our runners, and some of those J items can save the day, especially against some of the nastier boss spots. Yeah, and it also makes grinding a lot easier because sirens are available, and Bacchus should be available in the Underworld or on the moon. All right, so let's see who we have here partnered up with Sid. We have Dark Cecil. And we have the Magma Key right away. Well, no hook required seed. We won't have to worry about that Rubicante spot after all, and I'm sure that's giving everyone a big sigh of relief right off the bat. Yeah, I can imagine having Underworld access right away and not having to deal with that Rubicon spot. That's going to be huge, at least as a time save. Yeah, because worst case scenario, if that's the only path forward, and you just have to grind up the levels so you can get through it if your gear hasn't given you the options. But that's not even on the table, so we don't have to worry about that. We do have a free lunch going on, so let's see where people go to try to fill out their party. And I would imagine most... and we have... Okay, so we already have some nice deviation here. We have Rivers heading over to Mysidia to pick up 2 characters, and then we have Silverfire and Demarine checking out Baron and looting out Baron, and we have Penguinator going to the Watery Pass to pick up what looked to be Yang. And in spite of the 2 characters, one of them is a duplicate Dark Knight Cecil, so Rivers is only increasing his party size by 1.
and it was a duplicate Sid in the Baron Inn as well. So far, free lunch is just giving you seconds and thirds instead of mixing up your diet a bit.
Interesting choice by Penguinator not to take Yang right away. Now, Yang is one of those characters that in these flags is only going to get stronger as the game progresses. Cat Claws, his ultimate weapon, are easily found in the Underworld in this seed. So I'm a little surprised he decided to nope out of Yang. In my opinion, I take him every time.
Yeah, with T2 and S2 especially, because even without Cat Claws, because of the way that his attack power grows more based on his level than on his gear, along with his HP growth, he's so useful at the end game. So I'm very surprised that he went in there and did not opt to take him along for the ride.
And we have a glass helmet at Edward's spot.
No key item there then.
No key item there, but the glass helmet will give probably Sid some really nice physical defense.
Yeah, not so much in the way of magic, but it'll definitely make things easier against some of those hard-hitting bosses with him in the front row.
Okay, we have Penguinator going... There's a Cat Claw that we just talked about.
I know, you bring it up and there it happens. You're giving the commentator's blessing instead of the commentator's curse.
We have Tella and Damsian tonight. One other thing with Yang that we almost forgot to mention, that because the J2 flag is selected on, Yang does have access to his power ability, which basically doubles his attack power. Or is it 1.5 or is it double?
I think it's double. And then he also has the brace ability, which is basically the armor spell that he can just stack that defense up all the way to the max. I think it goes all the way up to 255 if you use it enough times. Hopefully our runners won't have to do that, though, if only for time constraints.
Yeah, so in my opinion, Yang is one of those characters you absolutely want in this seed under these flags. But that's me.
River's trying to decide which of his items he actually wants to ditch to get some Star Veils, I guess in case he runs into Golbez or Bahamut and needs that extra tool in his toolkit. Nearly sold that glass helmet, it looked like, but I think he kept it.
I think he kept it, but that glass helmet will sell for a lot, and at some point in the game, it kind of becomes counterproductive because as mentioned, it's great for physical defense, but for magic defense, it's absolute crap.
Yep, utter garbage. More weapon shop checks. Not much to find, like you said, with S2 being active, Overworld. You're not going to find that much to go with. You may get some good stat boosting gear in the armor shops, but it's hard to find a decent upgrade that you really want to spend your money on.
Yeah, agreed. Rune rings, rune armlets, you might find in some of the, might not be a bad thing, especially for a lot of the game, but you really want, when it comes to treasure chests, it's the later game treasure chests and the monster trap chests that you're looking at.
Looks like we have a bunch of pretty much everyone is now revisiting places others have already been. Penguin looks like he's ready to, or Penguinator is ready to go underground right now. And I didn't see if Silverfire took Young or not. Did you see if they picked him up?
Yeah, they did.
Okay. And using that Tella's exit spell to save a few steps in the dungeon, again with encounters on, want to avoid that if at all possible.
So with encounters on, I know it's a pain in the butt, but with Tella, I'm a little surprised we haven't seen any of our runners dig a little further into that first floor of the Watery Pass, to get those extra 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 treasure chests. It might not be anything, or, but just because it's T2 doesn't mean you might not get that one little oops item. Strength rings are available is that Aggard?
I believe so. Yeah, because Penguinator did just open the Underworld, so checking those shops before diving down.
And strength rings is again another item that Yang loves to have. That strength armor.
Yeah. It's no Zeus Gauntlet, but it's still pretty good. River's picking up his monk in the Watery Passage. And a little more sweeping back across each other's paths. I think Penguinator's about to strike some new ground for us, though.
So Penguinator looks like he's selling off all of Cecil's stuff in order to get a Lilith rod for Tella.
You know, I can see that being pretty handy. It is a decent stat stick, giving a +5 bonus to Tella's wisdom. But more importantly, with how small Tella's MP pool is, you can use it both for drain and for osmos, depending on whether you bonk the enemy or use it as an item. And there we go, diving into the Underworld. Let's see where he loots first. Ignoring Dwarf Castle, going straight for Tamra. 6 chests here, and of course, gated item and weapon shops, so maybe there'll be something handy. Those tier 2 elemental items especially can just utterly wreck everything in the overworld.
Silverfire finding dancing daggers in Toroya, which may be a nice source of damage, especially early, by using the dancing dagger as an item.
Absolutely, absolutely. The several vanilla speedrun strats take strong advantage of the dancing dagger, and they can pay off pretty handy here in Free Enterprise as well. Weapon shop in Tamra not having anything that intrigues Penguinator.
And there are the Bacchus wines in Tomra, which later on in the game are going to become essential for your melee characters when fighting Zeromus.
Mm-hmm. If you don't find, I mean, with these flags, if you don't find good equipment, getting that, getting the wine, both for 1, the damage buff, and 2, for how frequently your character will attack, can make up a lot of that lack in DPS that you would otherwise have on a higher flagged seed.
Ooh, that fire armor is going to sell for a bunch.
Are we finally getting our first battle among our featured runners? I think so.
It looks like it. It looks like Rivers is going to go ahead and do the Fabul battle. Let's see what we have here in the gauntlet.
Ooh, it's a lunar boss. Who do we have?
Pogo. This shouldn't be too bad here, because this is a relatively low magic spot, so this really shouldn't be bad.
Mm-hmm. And the big wave being a percentage-based attack, Tella should have enough juice in his Cure 2 to keep the party healed up. The real question is how much these physicals are going to do. Will it be enough to tank or to send someone down to a dirt nap or not? Meanwhile, Demarine has found Rosa, the Bay. Well, my Bay. Some people like Rydia, but Rosa is so good. Especially on these flags, when you sometimes all you want is a white mage, with a relatively easy fight on Mount Hobbs. Just the Capo Inn officer and soldiers.
Little surprised she decided to get rid of Cecil, but that said, I mean, yes, you can get the Excalibur, but that requires you to get both the Legend Sword and the Adamant. So, yeah, half surprised that the Marine decided to ditch Rosa for now, or ditch Cecil.
Yeah, and another thing too, I can see that as well, because on these flags, when the best weapon you're guaranteed for Cecil is the Blizzard Sword, well, I mean, maybe a Rune Axe if you're lucky enough to find one, and Sid being, you know, probably more HP and a much better agility anchor, you don't have to worry about, you don't have to worry about over-leveling Sid as much as you do Cecil, so I can understand that decision.
To answer your question in chat, no, experience is not split in this flag set. Everybody gets everything. So that 5590 that we saw just now on Riverside, everybody gets 5590.
Mm-hmm. And eventually you'll get even additional buffs to XP. Once you have 10 key items, everyone will get double XP. And if you have a full party and someone's lagging behind by enough levels, they may get double or triple experience from a fight.
Because we had 2 boss battles going on at the same time. We had Rivers taking on Ogopogo at the Fabul Gauntlet, and he defeated it, which yielded the Twin Harp. And Silverfire right now is taking care of Calbrena, who is in the Antlion spot. Let's see what we have at the Antlion spot.
Oh, just an Asura summon. And without Rydia, well, at least it sells for a tidy sum. So maybe able to finance some purchases with the Queen of the Feymarch.
50,000, I believe, is what that particular summon sells for. So that's a nice, tidy summon this seed.
Very much, yes.
And it looks like the Marine is making her way over to the Fabul Gauntlet, which we know is Ogopogo.
And Silverfire not far behind her. Let's see where Rivers heads.
Penguinator making his way down the Antlion Cave and is going to go get himself an Ashura spell soon.
Oh, the encounter right in there. This is one seed where I can see a lot of people keeping Tella around, if only for his exit spell, to not have to walk back out of several of these dungeons.
Gaia Helm is a nice find or Gaia Hat is a nice find in Silvera, along with a Samurai Armor, which was one of the items in the Tall Grass.
Very nice defensive boost there. Let's see if Dimarine's going to have any trouble with this Ogopogo. Oh, unlike Rivers, Dimarine actually has double white magic sources between Rosa and Tella, so probably going to be an even easier fight.
And Rivers picking up a Wind Spear for Kane, which is, I think, the third best spear that is guaranteed, only behind the Flame Spear and the Blizzard Spear.
Those are the only ones you'll find in shops for sure. Even with T2, may be able to find something up to the Gungnir or even the Dragoon Spear, but don't hold your breath.
I'm pretty sure the Gungnir is part of the chest, the chest drop. Because I think that's classified as ultra rare or something. So I don't think we're going to find that just out of a normal chest. I think.
The item shop in Silvera was actually pretty stacked. It had both silk webs, which are very handy against bosses in the high agility spots, and then life potions, of course, which can be useful if you end up doing a D-machine grind in the giant for your levels once you're in go mode.
Ooh, Wizard Hat is nice find for Rivers, who's making his way up Mount Ordeals. Let's see who the character is on the third floor, essentially. I forget what it's called, the third, cave
third
or whatever.
Third whatever.
Station, whatever the heck it is.
Yeah, I really do like this play because having both Tella and Dark Knight Cecil in his party still, this is going to give major upgrades to both those characters. So seems like a pretty good time to go ahead and knock it out.
Yeah, and it is a duplicate Kane. Yeah, no, I agree. I really do like this play of making Tella even more useful, and Cecil to a certain extent.
I'd be interested to see what kind of, just spitballing, possible features in the future. If they were to enable it to where you could have duplicates of a character in your party, I wonder then what kind of decisions you'd see people make. Because at the same time, sometimes you get, 2 Excaliburs, and you're like, well, what am I doing with this extra one? It'd be kind of interesting to see how people build their parties in that context. Would we see, I would just do 5 roses. That would be my plan. I don't know about you. 5 roses. Good to go.
I would go with 2 roses, and I would go with 3 of whoever has the strongest attack weapon. All right, so let's see what we have here at the Ordeals Trio.
If we can get past the random encounters to find out. There we go. Ooh. Mist Dragon. That would be a lot more exciting if we were on No Free Lunch, since that would also gate a key item. But as is, just a boss shouldn't be too bad, too difficult, especially with this party.
Yeah. Might hit physically for a bunch, but I don't think it's anything to worry about from the, if you happen to mistime something and get the cold breath, I don't think the cold breath is really going to do much to you.
Yeah. And also, actually, in this spot, I think the Mylon and Gas have such low physical attack that let's see if it gets another attack off before Rivers kills it. I just want to see how piddly the damage is that it does. One damage to Dark Knight Cecil. Yeah, I think he has this fight under control. I got a feeling.
I think he might have a pretty good chance for this.
Meanwhile, look at who Penguinator. Oh, poor dragon. Penguinator making short work of Bahamut. Is that the Baron Guard spot? It is. And who's next?
Oh, owie.
I love it. I love it. I love it anytime Golbez is in a spot that you don't get to look at first, and it's even better if you had to beat someone else and take that time to get to him.
And this spot is just terrible for Golbez, because the magic stat and the physical stat aren't necessarily so bad here, but it is the sheer speed of this spot that's going to just pretty much wipe these guys out.
Yeah, it's going to come down to if his two surviving characters are fast enough to pop Starveil or Moonveil. Because I'm sure Penguinator has Starveils in his inventory, but if it's Sid and Tella, run buffering might not be enough to make this happen.
And there's the commentator's curse.
Alright, I'm keeping my fingers crossed. Come on, Starveil. River's going to see who that second bridge boss is, if once more the zombies and ghosts will leave him alone. Oh, that virus did piddly damage. I'm guessing because it's the vanilla Yang or Karate spot doesn't have that much magic attack going for it. So I think Penguinator's going to manage that just fine in spite of the speed.
And Penguinator does use his one Bacchus wine there to hopefully defeat Golbez a little bit quicker.
Whack! Golbez! Bonk. 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 Someone earlier was talking about how it was hammer time this seed with a Sid starter, and Golbez is definitely going to wish he had his parachute pants right now.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah, because he's going to see nothing but an onslaught of hammers here.
Oh, and another fun boss on Ordeals. Luckily, though, Kane's in the party. Shouldn't be too bad.
Yeah, but if Kane wasn't in this party, this would be an interesting fight.
I know that Yang's kick attack will hit, regardless of spin form or not, but doing it, plinking away 80 damage at a time may not be the best way to do it.
Penguinator does take down Golbez for all that wonderful Zero experience.
Hey, on the bright side, at least he gets to add Sid to his party. All that work for a ninja shirt, and you don't even have a ninja to put it on.
Nope.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how annoyed do you think Penguinator is right now?
Highly annoyed. And, we've seen 5 key item locations, and we only have 2 key items. We only have the Magna Key and the Twin Harp right now.
Mm-hmm. So the logic may be telling people, hey, go over to that magnetic cave. I wonder if anyone will, because we do have some people who, ditched Dark Knight Cecil, so I wonder if they're more interested in checking out that spot rather than climbing Ordeals. We'll know that soon.
And River is just taking this Velvalis fight slow and steady, and we'll eventually get it.
Yeah, it's textbook at this point with this team. Oh, and we have a bearded statue. She did not like that engineer at all.
Not at all. Silverfire has joined Tella, or not Tella. Yeah, they have joined Rivers up on Mount Ordeals, and
hey, Rivers is old, but he's not that old. Come on.
And they will be getting into the Velvalis fight shortly.
Back attacked by a Lilith. All right, let's see what this Ordeals key item is.
Silverfire is fighting this Lilith because that's a nice, tasty 2750 experience.
Mm-hmm. One of the better places to grind if you have access to sirens and can't make your way underground yet, is to pop them here on Ordeals. The top 2 floors will give you 2 Liliths and double that amount you just said, and you're gaining quite a few levels early on.
And we get the package from Mount Ordeals, so that opens up another character. And because it is a blocked character, technically, that might we see an Edge or a Fusoya in that spot.
Either one of those would be a welcome addition. Fu, especially under these flags. If you're not going to find good gear, it's nice to have someone who can cast every white and black magic spell.
Oh, how vanilla on Riverside.
Definitely one of the better places to find Dark Knight Cecil. Although you get we do have free lunch on, so 3 Dark Wave attacks, and you'll win as long as you don't hit him. But there's still plenty of boss spots where those 3 Dark Waves could wipe a fairly underleveled party.
Absolutely. And the Marine is now exploring the Underworld a little bit. Exits are a nice item to purchase in the Dwarf Castle.
Yeah, because if you do want to get rid of Tella and you've not done Zot with Rosa or leveled up Porum or fought enough bosses with Fu, it's still handy to have that ability to warp out of a dungeon without having to do all the backtracking.
All right, so River is taking the slow walk off of Mount Ordeals.
Hey, he got a paladin, he got a whole bunch of spells for his sage, he has a package which may or may not have a top-end character behind it, so it was a little slow going, but the rewards may pay off pretty handsomely here.
Now, I'm a little surprised that the Marine is the only one that has checked out Hobbs and has gotten Rosa.
That's true. I mean, I can see that, though, because with encounters being on, I mean, you may just want to avoid places like that altogether if they're not going to give you a key item. Which will be interesting to see if Rosa ends up making a pretty big difference in our party composition come the end game.
River is going to save before doing the Baron doublet, which we know to be Bahamut and Golbez.
So he'll be getting his wonderful reward of a ninja. I know he also purchased Starveils earlier, so he should be good to go for the Golbez fight as well.
Penguinator buying some coffins from the Silvera item shops to do an egg grind later, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm. Great way to get started on your eggs before you can do a ton of damage. And also, because, again, we're playing with free lunch tonight, there are a few bosses that are vulnerable to the coffins as well. The Baron Guard fight, anything in the Fabul Gauntlet, can knock those out with them as well. Although, spending 5,000 gold a pop to do it might not be the best use of your GP.
No, and Penguinator has sold some rather good stuff. Especially, I note a couple pieces of samurai gear and a piece of dragoon gear.
Hmm. Definitely loaded on life potions. I bet he's angling to do the Dragon Machine grind in the Giant of Babel, given how big that stack is.
Yeah, the only problem with banking on the D-Machine grind is where the heck is that Earth Crystal?
Or Darkness Crystal. Darkness Crystal.
That's what I meant.
Yeah.
Yeah, because if that Darkness Crystal is hidden behind, I don't know, the Shura spot or the Leviathan spot, and it's a decent boss there, then you got some problems.
Mm-hmm. Especially if you already have the pass. At that point, why wouldn't you go for eggs? Did you see Sirens for Sale already? I believe you mentioned it earlier, didn't you?
No, I have not yet seen Sirens.
You've not. Then, at that point, they may be... I'm not sure if they're guaranteed under these flags. I think they are, but that does only leave the Eblin shop and the Naming Way shop on the Moon that may have them for sale, because I think we've seen all the other item stores at this point.
Have we seen Kaipo yet?
Kaipo... I don't think we have. So, okay. So that's 3 options remaining to us, I believe. Because I know Penguinator checked Agert, several people checked Mysidia, Silvera. Yeah, so I think those are just the only 2 remaining ones. Tella lighting up Golbez like he's in a cutscene or something. 3,000. Go, old man.
Gotta love having access to the later game spells here. Oh, and Rex reminding us that there is the Summon Monsters item shop, too, that we haven't seen.
Oh, yeah. No one actually dove all the way down there. Encounters are on. Excellent point. Yeah, you can see the difference that E0 is making on this. If E3 were active, I would bet my bottom dollar that multiple of these runners would have already gone all the way through Fey March, probably even gone and checked with Yang right quick just to get the extra key item in Fabul. But with Encounters on, your party's not quite ready to deal with all those higher level enemies.
No, and given the lack of now that Rivers has gone through ordeals, I think he has access to the float spell.
Tella will give him that option, but you get back attacked by some nastier enemies, and you still could have a rough time of it. But I do think you're right. I think that he is capable of making those dives now if he wants to.
Yeah, because the one back attack in the summoned cave that you don't want to see is the Conjurer that summons an Arachne, because Quake will ruin your day.
But Float will, mitigate that somewhat. Now, look over at Silverfire. Look who is behind that package. We found a burning mop in the middle of the Mist Village.
It's Uncle Mop!
That will help a lot. Big upgrade off of Tella there. Depending on, let's see, done at least the 3 bosses from ordeals. I'm not sure if Sylv did the Antlion spot. Know that they did the Bull one. So, but with these flags, once again, there are 27 possible key item spots. 10 of those are, well, not self. 9 of those are added bosses. So you're probably going to get enough knocked out to get your foo maxed out, unless the scene decides to be extra generous all of a sudden.
Yeah, but even still, right now, given where Silverfire is, for a nice easy fight, I'd pop into that first cave, the Mist Cave right there, and take care of who's ever at the Vanilla Mist Driving spot. Because that shouldn't take too long in theory.
Yeah, we know it's not Golbez, and it could be the Fabul Gauntlet. That would be the longest possible fight in that spot, I think. Here, fight 16 enemies, and they each have 3 HP.
So at least we should get a Kaipo item store check at this point. Now the question is, who do you get rid of here? Is Tella the thing you get rid of, or do you get rid of a Cecil who might not have access to great equipment, or do you get rid of a Sid who right now doesn't have good equipment? I mean, this is going to be an interesting call on Silverfire's part. Who would you get rid of here in your case, if you were in this situation?
Ooh, that is a hard one, because like you said, Tella does have his ordeals magic right now. But I think that I would trust that I can knock out enough low-level bosses to get Fu up to snuff and ditch Tella, just because all 5 of the other characters can be handy at the end game. But you take Tella to the Zeromus fight, and he's probably eating a dirt nap after the first Big Bang. Your mileage may vary, of course.
Well, yeah, because I'm sitting here thinking, boy, what would I do? And I'm thinking, I might actually get rid of Cecil in this case, because with the whole agility thing, and given that Cecil is your agility quote unquote anchor, I'd rather have Sid as an anchor than Cecil. I don't know. It's tough. It's a tough call.
Now, if Sylv runs over to Mount Hobbs and finds Rosa, at that point, yeah, pretty easier decision. You're going to want Rosa and Fu, and you're going to want both Kane and Yang, and then I'm probably ditching Cecil and keeping Sid if I haven't, happened across a really good weapon by them.
And Silver ditching Sid. Interesting call.
I guess Silva's expecting to get something good for Cecil. Hopefully they won't end up being disappointed, stuck with a Blizzard sword.
And we have Rydia in the Sand Ruby spot. Yeah, that's an interesting call there.
The Death Evans asking in chat, doesn't Sid not have any high-end weapons? Sid tops out with a Rune Axe, which is definitely not the best weapon in the game, and it's one that, if you have one, both Cecil and Kane can also equip. but it's good enough. His HP, his lower speed can make him perfectly viable for a Zeromus fight.
And we have the Marine checking out the Cave Magnus.
Finally following that other key item we've gotten. We'll see if this actually leads down a rabbit hole or if it ends up being something good.
Rivers, it looks like, also got Did he get Fusoya?
He did. He was in the fight about 30 seconds behind Sylph.
And he also got rid of Sid. Interesting call there, too.
Placing a lot of faith in their paladin tonight. Penguinator Cecil is joining the ranks as well very soon. Eternal Newbie asking in the chat, what flags are these?
I got it in a second.
Yeah, I'm surprised that the exclamation point FE command doesn't include those, but... Oh, Nora beat you to it. Too slow again.
It happens. Hey, that's what happens when you get old.
Trent asking if they have a cursed ring or something that'll drop Cecil's agility. I've not seen one yet, but worst case scenario, you just knock off your own Cecil at level 44 or 45, and you have a great agility anchor with that 28.
Alright, so let's see who we have here, the Dark Elf. And it's a shame we don't have the Marine sound to hear the
remix. Hopefully it'll be a key item, and then Rivers will have to pass through it, and we'll get to find out that way. Yeah, Trenton, you can actually walk across that little gap there. I didn't know that myself until fairly recently. It's just a little hop, skip, and a jump. That's all.
No, you're not the only one that didn't know that, Trenton. I actually learned that from watching Rivers one day. Thankfully, it was fairly early in my rando experience, so I've known that little bit. But I think there are still more that don't know that than do.
Yeah, I learned that also by watching Rivers. I think he was doing a walkthrough one day, and talking about treasure chests that you'll go out of your way for versus ones that are too far to be really time efficient. And he pointed out that one, and it's like, well, if you go around back, not that time efficient. If you go this way, there you go. Oh, Demarine doesn't even have her sound up. She apparently has the sound muted for the restream. So we won't be finding out that Dark Elf song through her, but hopefully this will be a really important key item, and we'll get to find out that way.
If any of you are wondering why we call Fusoya Uncle Mop, all you have to do is look at Silverfire's screen and tell me that is not a mop.
As a kid, I thought it looked more like a fried egg, sunny side up, but I can see the mop as well. Sunny side up eggs. Foo, you're making me hungry. Pick yourself up off the ground.
And we have these Dark Imps. Yep, Dark Imps at the Dark Elf spot. This should be okay. They might hit a little bit hard, but not terribly.
Yeah, it's their speed that'll probably be the more annoying thing. But since we have no free lunch set to 0, thus having free lunch, there are lots of ways that they can knock these out with status effects, even instant death effects, the weak spell. Oh, there we go. Hourglass 2. That'll freeze them right there. And so Demarine forging some new ground for us. Everyone else seems to be cleaning up loose ends in the overworld.
Yeah,
Silver's
I think,
finally.
go ahead.
Oh, no, by all means, go for it.
I was going to say, I think a lot of this is also getting levels to take on some of the stuff in the Underworld, given that we haven't seen Sirens yet.
Definitely. Because you don't want to just go walk around that peninsula hoping for your 1 in 64 shot at a yellow dragon egg. That is not a good race strat.
No, not at all.
Silverfire finally opening up the Underworld as well. Perhaps figuring with Fu, it's time to tackle some of this harder content.
And the Marine, practicing slow and steady, wins this race.
That's 17 damage bonk with Rosa. Come on, I see Artemis arrows in that inventory. We need some Warrior Princess action.
And River's opening up his Underworld access.
That poor imp. Stopped in time, asleep, and charmed. Not having the best day.
No, and he's getting rather beat up in, as well, too. All right, so let's see what we have here in Cave Magnus.
All right, be something important. We all want to hear that twin harp melody. Ooh, tower key. It is a key item.
Yep, and that is our 4th key item we've seen tonight. We know that we started with the Magma key. The Fabul Gauntlet had the Twin Harp. Mount Ordeals had the package, and Cave Magnus, as you just saw, has the tower key.
So 38 minutes in, we've cleared off pretty much all the overworld except the Tower of Zot, which we don't have the ability to clear, and only 4 key items, so it's being a little unforgiving. On the bright side, our streamers here did get Fusoya early, so that's gonna, make things a lot easier even with bad gear going forward.
And the one nice thing, at least as far as the Marine goes, is now this gives the Underworld Access Tower of Babel 2 key items. Because one of the my pet peeve, probably a bug among everything else, is having to go up that blasted tower without the tower key, and then finding it somewhere else and having to go back up that thing, especially with encounters on.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's bad enough, even when we're playing with the E3 flag, which lets us toggle encounters. But encounters are on with the full barrage of Final Fantasy IV's encounter rate, so you do not want to have to go through Babel twice.
So, Seawalker777 asks an interesting question in chat. What's an average time for the FF4 rando? It all depends on the flag set you're running. You can make flags that make sub-hour seeds eminently possible. The siege we're playing on tonight, frankly, if anybody sub 2 hours I'd consider that a good time.
Agreed, definitely. Watching practice seeds this week, there was a practice race the other night that some people did where everyone did finish under 2 hours, but it was a complete jet seed. Just very generous. Tonight, not nearly so generous. We don't have either of our tools required to, 1, access Zeromus, and 2, transform him so we can actually fight and defeat him. So we're at 0 of 3 if you also include levels in that. So it's a little slow going tonight.
Yeah, it's very slow going. I would definitely classify this as a slog so far.
So we have Leviathan in the Calbrina spot.
So the magic power in this spot isn't too bad. So Leviathan's big wave shouldn't be too bad.
Well, the big wave is percentage based, so it'll do a quarter max HP. It's the Ice 2s that hopefully that low magic power will come into play on. I don't think this will be too bad accordingly.
Well, Leviathan does do regular attacks, right?
I'm not sure. I know Ogopogo does. I guess we'll find out soon.
Yeah. Oh, but with Fusoya's Quake, this should be a relatively easy battle.
Yeah, that's 3,000 damage already. The slot has, let's see, about 8,500 HP.
Yeah, I was just going to say right about 8,000, right?
Yeah, so who's going to carry Rivers to victory here?
Oh, and Silverfire making the dive into the Fame Arc.
I mean, there's a free key item, well, a free possible key item location up for grabs down here, plus 2 bosses, which are also key item spots under this flag set. And there's some that, if there, can be dealt with even at relatively low levels. Or, you know, with a level 50 Fusoya in your party.
Okay, so the character at the Dwarf Castle is another copy of Tella, and we have 2 Dragon Lunars who should go down to 1 Quake.
Mm-hmm. Altogether, not too difficult at Dwarf Castle.
Did Silverfire open the enemy chest in here?
Yeah, it must have. I didn't see Sylve opening other chests on their way down, so it must have been the one that was directly in the path.
And it happened to be protected this time.
Mm-hmm. But Hourglass 2 and Quake, and this shouldn't be too bad.
Yeah.
Sadly, no XP for Kane, it looks like, but hey, XP and loot for everyone else.
Exactly. Let's see what this loot is, because this has the potential to be something pretty good. Ooh,
and it's something very good.
Spear that pretty much in these flags, that means Kane is not leaving your party tonight. Period. End of story.
Oh yeah, that's his second best weapon in the game. Best weapon if you're fighting dragons. Yeah, no doubt. Kane is going nowhere. You would have to find like a crystal sword and 2 cat claws and 2 extra roses for me to consider getting rid of Kane at this point.
And of course, I missed what the item was that the Dwarf King gives you.
Looking at the tracker, it must have been the pan. That's the only one highlighted that wasn't highlighted before.
Oh, had to have been then. Okay.
That makes the Sylph Cave dive much more lucrative.
Yeah, I would think now that River's next course of action is probably to do the Sylph Cave and the Fame Arc dive.
Because Sylph Cave alone will be another 3 possible key item locations. 1 for talking to Yang, 1 for bonking Yang, and then 1 from the Sylphs themselves. Of course, 2 of those will have to go retrieve from Sheila in Fabul, but still, 3 relatively free key items.
Well, 4. Right? 1 from the Fame Arc, 2 from Sheila, and 1 from the Sylphs.
Yeah, I was talking just about Sylph Cave.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah.
Nah, but still, this may blow the seed wide open. I'm still holding out hope that that tower key of Demarines makes a difference. So that could be what determines our winner here.
Ooh, Samurai Gauntlet for Silverfire. That's getting thrown on Kane immediately. Alright, so let's see. Let's make our way to the item shop and then to the key item. Oh.
Yeah. Let's check that. Oh, okay. Gotta do all the looting. Silver's making us wait with bated breath on this one. And we have... Ooh, that's a great piece of gear as well.
So right now it is definitely looking like keeping Kane and Cecil is absolutely the right call.
Yeah, huge fan of the defense sword. Great attack power, bonus to vitality.
It's the 3rd best sword Cecil can use, right behind Excalibur and the Crystal Sword.
I believe you're right. I forget how it and the Lightbringer sword stack up, but I prefer it, if only because of the defense boost.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's like 2 or 3 better than the Light Sword.
Oh, and of course, this is not counting Avenger. Avenger has its own special place in all our hearts.
Oh, and he hit A way too quick. Earth Crystal at the Sylphs.
Well, for one thing, that will definitely possibly definitely, possibly. Motivate Rivers to check the Dark Elf spot, because if you're going to Troya anyway, you might as well clear all those all in one go.
Alright, so Rivers is now going to return to Sheila and figure out what they get for reporting back on Yang and getting the pan.
Meanwhile, Silverfire is going to go ahead and it looks like ooh, that's a Darkness Crystal. And a Baron Key, wow. Silverfire appears to be challenging the Eblanese royalty in the Leviathan spot, which free lunch is on. All they have to do is survive, and a relatively weak magical onslaught, hopefully, and get another free key item.
This is which spot is this? I can never remember.
That's the Leviathan spot.
Okay.
And instead of letting the fight play itself out, Silverfire's like, no, I got no time for that. We can beat you up rather than waiting on the timer to expire.
Oh, see, I had this fight in one of my practice seats, and I'm like, all right, I'm going to go use the bathroom. I'll be back when this fight's done.
On those, you know, if we were doing K4 and...
K4 and this was in the Ogopogo spot, well...
Yeah, it's like, y'all have fun. I'll be right back.
So this is going to be interesting now. We got Rivers checking out the basement of Toroya and all these treasures. Let's see if we can't find, if he finds something good.
But of course, the true final boss of Free Enterprise, inventory management. Gotta make that space.
Diamond armlet is nice.
Black robes for dark mages.
Actually, the black robes aren't that great in this game because they are bugged and they actually increase willpower, not wisdom.
Oh, okay. Well, but if your character is still wearing, you know, like leather armor or cloth, you know,
well, yeah,
every little
better
bit
than
helps.
nothing. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think they sell for a decent sum too, if you're still looking to purchase your Bacchus wines and silk webs and other utility items like that.
Indeed.
Oh yeah, Rexrawl in the chat had the misfortune of fighting the Dark Imps at the Leviathan the other day, and they crushed him. I've had that experience. Like, I've managed to beat the boss in Asura's spot, and I'm like, oh, it's just the Dark Imps. That can't be so bad. And then they just cut you for 3,000 damage apiece, and you don't make that mistake a second time.
No. Alright, so let's see what we get here at the Leviathan spot for Silverfire.
And that is... Mursame. Good sword, but not really what we're looking for at this point, given that we've not even seen a ninja.
No, we have not. Nor, I mean, there is a bunch of the key items that we have not yet seen. Of course, two of which being, you know, necessary items, as in the crystal and the pass.
Well, we do have the darkness crystal at least, so that's nice. So we do have our moon access, which I'm wondering if, now that he has it, if Rivers is going to make a play on the moon. There are 10 spots there where, or not 10, pardon me, 6 spots, I believe, on the moon. 7 if you count the double chest one behind Lunar Dragon spot.
Yeah. And this also opens up the possibility of doing the D-Machine grind for levels.
Since we've not seen Sirens yet, that's looking increasingly more likely.
Uh-oh.
That was a quick reset. Oh, sorry to laugh, but anytime the Wyvern flag is off, and it's just that opening Mega Nuke. Oh.
Wyvern at Ashura? We're not seeing what's behind Ashura for a very, very, very long time.
I am hoping against hope that that is our crystal location.
Oh God, would that? Oh God, how would you even? I mean, how would you beat that?
Well, high-speed characters and Star Veils, I'd say.
Yeah, that'd be that'd be the only way.
I mean, someone does have the Dragoon Spear for Kane, so Kane will dish out ridiculous damage to Wyvern, but you have to stay alive long enough to do it.
Penguinator fighting 6 ghosts for a ninja helm.
Man, so we have a Murasame, a ninja cowl, a ninja outfit, still no ninja. But we do have a further 3 character spots to check now, the 2 on Zod and the 1 on the moon, so maybe we'll find Edge after all.
Also to note that the enemy guarded chest here in the Tower of Zod actually contained Dragoon gloves.
Excellent piece of gear, having the basic elemental damage, aside from giving a boatload of physical defense on top of that. Yeah, Devshawn, Wyvern was in the Asura spot, and it let loose with a Mega Nuke right off the bat.
And in the Nadja Sisters spot, we have Rubicon.
And Fu is going to do what Fu do.
And Tello's going to back him up with another Ice Spell straight to the face.
Will he get it off before the... Okay, it was Ice 2. Yeah, I didn't see it was Ice 2 or Ice 3. If it were Ice 3, I would have been surprised if he'd gotten it off before the cloak closed. But this is Rivers McCown. He knows his ATB timing.
Yeah. So again, I feel as though it's interesting to point out that Demarine is the only one right now to have Rosa in their party.
We do have another white mage here in Zot, though. I wonder if... I don't think I would take Porom even over Tello right now, just because of the utility, and having to worry about leveling her up.
Yeah, Porom, she's got better willpower.
Oh, there's Rosa Bay.
There's Rosa. All right. And that discussion is now moot.
Yep. I think we're about to say goodbye to Tella here.
I would think.
Yeah, no hesitation.
Yeah, exactly. So this is going to be the party that I think Rivers takes to Zeromus. And you know what? This is a really good party to take to Zeromus.
Very, very good party, especially since we found that defense sword. I was worried that we'd end up with a Cecil stuck with, an Ogre Axe or a Blizzard or an Icebrand sword. Nope. We are good to go on our DPS for sure. It's just getting that crystal and getting the levels at this point.
Now the only question is Rivers going to check out that one chest that was trapped on the way? Because if he does, he's going to get the Dragoon Spear.
That's true, that's true.
Ooh, and here's a water hag that hits like a truck.
In an extra in-battle cutscene. Who's Edward, lady?
Believe in yourself. And be strong.
Arg. Arg. Arg.
Arg.
MTI over here spreading lies in the chat. Please don't deceive prospective free enterprise players, MTI.
Yeah, I agree with Sir Moggles. Edward, I've never heard of him. Nope, go home. Go home, you're drunk.
I'm still keeping my fingers crossed that tower key will play out for Demarine. But let's see what Rivers gets from Zot.
Silverfire.
That's it. All over but the shouting. Oh, that's heartbreaking. I was really hoping it would be the tower key, because during last Monday night's flags, apparently, when I dove into Sealed Cave, Demarine said, "I really hope Venerable doesn't find the tower key, because that'll just make him waste time on the Tower of Babel." And lo and behold, that's exactly what happened. So I was kind of hoping to, you know, be kind and keep my fingers crossed that the tower key would actually play out on this seed, but Rivers is in go mode and we're not even an hour in.
Oh, and Rivers is going to take on the elements at Octomount spot. Wants to get Fusoya up to full power.
Yeah, 2 more bosses and that'll be taken care of, and then I bet he's going to go to the giant.
So, these are the key items we know of right now and their locations. We knew that the start had the magma key. We knew that the twin harp was behind the Thule gauntlet. Mount Ordeals contained the package. Cave Magnus actually had the tower key. The Luca necklace is the pan. The Sylphs had the earth crystal, which actually is necessary because Tower of Zot has the crystal. And then Sheila has the dark crystal and the Baron key.
So everything pretty much relied upon that one pan.
Yeah, exactly. And Odin in Mist Dragon spot. Oh, bye, Odin.
And that'll give us a full powered Fu.
Yep, which then should probably open up the machine grind. If he remembers where the life potions are.
I mean, even without the life potions, you can cast life as well. So having a Rosa in the party, that's another source of multiplying your experience gains.
And Cecil has a life spell too.
I never cast it with him for some reason. Then again, I think the only white magic spell I ever cast with him is Exit, so...
In seeds like this, I'll use him to use Cure 2 out of battle.
That's fair. That's fair. Yeah, Falfon, not only that, but you had to use the pan to hit Yang to make the Sylphs cough up the Earth Crystal as well. So, and I think technically the Darkness Crystal could have been gotten without the pan. I think that was Sheila's first item. So...
Apparently I'm wrong and Cecil doesn't have life?
Oh, really? Okay.
I thought he did. I could be crazy, which wouldn't be the first time I'm crazy.
I mean, it doesn't matter.
No.
If you're casting white magic with Cecil, you're sad and brokenhearted. Because you'd rather be, you know, stabbing. Oh, River's going to check here and see if they have sirens for sale before going straight to the giant. I don't blame him. Dragons are, I mean, eggs are much easier than huge mechanical dragons, but no dice.
Is he going to check the... He's going to check who the person here is? I mean, I can't imagine there's anybody here that he would want.
Maybe he wants to do his grind on the way to the lunar core, just fight stuff while walking, because he doesn't have the pass. He has to go this way anyway. And if there was one person I would take, it's probably that man.
Well, let's see what he does with it. Yep.
All right. I guess he never got the defense sword then, or if he did, it may be on Kane. Because I don't think he got the Dragoon Spear, did he?
No, he didn't.
Gotcha. Yeah, this makes perfect sense then. If his Cecil was using an Elven Bow, yeah, no. Goodbye.
But he also didn't get the Murasame either.
But he has at least one ninja sword in his inventory, so...
That's true. That's probably enough right there to overtake Cecil on whatever weapon he had.
Demarine picking up the Dragoon Spear as well. They're in the Feymarch Pass.
I'm sure she's doing a little dance.
Silverfire heading on up Zot, gonna be getting their crystal fairly soon. Shouldn't be too far behind Rivers. Wonder what party options they'll stick with.
I would think they would do the same thing and ditch Tella for Rosa.
Oh, of course, of course. I was thinking more about the edge decision in case they did have the defense sword. That would actually make it a little trickier to decide, I think.
Yeah, agreed. And I think it'll also depend on when Silver does their grind. If they grind before or after seeing Edge.
Yeah, I think that, and given that we haven't seen the pass, there's no reason not to go ahead and view that cutscene, because you're going to have to go through it anyway. Like, no one, like, I don't think any of these runners, once they have Crystal and Darkness Crystal, is going to keep looking for key items. If you were at 9 key items, maybe you'd try to find a 10th, but the problem with these flags, K2, is that you don't know for sure if your next fight will give you a key item or not.
And by my count, we've only found 9 key items.
Mm-hmm. Also true.
So then you're looking at... then you're looking at diving dungeon bosses up on the moon, which is not a pleasant prospect, because those are the only ones we have open right now, if I read this right.
And also, I mean, if you're there anyway, you... Well, you know, Demarine does have access to both Tower of Babel bosses, but...
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, so that is a pathway as well.
Mirror is not even bothering to check the chests on his way to the grind.
Nah, his team is all set. It's just getting those levels now.
Rai. The RNT, those aren't whips, those are tails. Those are the rat tail and the pink tail. Oh, good call, Trenton. Well, I did miss over having the Baron key, so you could check not only the Baron, but also the Odin spot and Bahamut.
Yeah. A lot of options at this point, and so gotta really hope. Silverfire's in great shape. Already at Zot, they're going to be in go mode very soon. Question is, when will Penguinator and Demarine be making that journey up there? And don't forget, everyone, if you're enjoying what you're seeing, make sure you give all 4 of our runners tonight a follow. They all love free Enterprise. They're in most of the weekly races, sometimes doing pickup games throughout the week as well. So if you like what you're seeing, you like the game, you want to learn more, give any of these 4 a follow. They'll be happy to tell you a little bit more about the randomizer and what makes it so enjoyable.
And Silverfire is about to pick up their crystal. Ooh, Penguinator noping out of the King and Queen Evelyn battle. Interesting.
I mean, we know it's not a difficult fight, but it does still take a little bit of time. Maybe he didn't feel like the logic's leading him that way.
Could be. Alright, here Rivers goes. He's gonna set up for his D-Machine grind. Penguinator, I guess, checking the back of Hobbs here for Edge, I suppose.
Yeah, we'll see if he goes ahead and picks up a Rosa here.
Picked it up in the tower.
Oh, I didn't think Penguinator had done Zot yet. Oh, he did!
Yep, Penguinator is in go mode.
Then, okay. I guess he really wants a ninja as well. I completely missed that he had completed Zot. Pardon me.
Fusoya, or not Fusoya, Rivers is now at the correct battle for the grind.
So, for those of you who are unfamiliar with the Dragon Machine grind, this will give you a quick idea of how to do it when you're in the battle. As far as how to trigger it reliably, there are step charts available in the newbie guide that Rivers himself created. So, when you don't have alerts and you don't have access to the sealed cave, this is going to be a very, very lucrative source of XP.
So basically what the whole idea of this D-Machine grind is you cast Weak on the D-Machine. You have somebody attack the D-Machine, and then as the attack animation is going, you use a life potion on the D-Machine. Okay? The attack will kill the D-Machine, and then the life potion will make the game think you killed the second. Mm-hmm. So you get 2 for the price of 1.
Yeah, because every enemy in Final Fantasy IV actually has a vitality stat of 0. And your vitality stat is what determines what percentage of your HP you come back to life with. So anytime you manage to throw one on a monster, it comes back to life with 0% of its HP and instantly dies over again.
Silverfire making an incredibly difficult decision for him by dumping Kain. I know that I'm pretty sure that Silverfire's favorite character is in fact Kain, so I'm sure that was painful.
But when you have Ninja Sword Enema Same, that is awesome DPS right there.
Yeah, and Yang and Cecil with the defense sword. I mean, it's pretty, as far as DPS goes, pretty simple decision there. Sir Moggles, where was the crystal? The crystal was the result of beating the Tower of...
I think you may have cut out there, Z-Man, briefly. The, which tower was that again?
Zot.
Okay. Yeah, over my headset it went, Tower of... Wait for it. Keeping the viewers in suspense. So cruel. Oh, this is interesting. Silverfire appears to be opting to grind in the lunar subterrane instead of going for the D-Machine.
Now, this is interesting because I believe some of the monsters down here are susceptible to stone, I believe.
I also just realized that Silverfire did not fully max out their Fusoya, so going to be a little short on HP here, and I'm uncertain which spells the mop is missing as well.
And Penguinator picking up Edge. I did not... Okay, let's see who he's going to dump. Cecil.
Yeah, it appeared that his Cecil was also still rocking a bow and arrows, so no surprise there.
Yeah, easy call there. And Penguinator is now going to go to Zot for his D-Machine grind. So, keep in mind that these 4 racers are not the only racers in this weekly race. I believe this week's race had 23 competitors? 24? Something around those lines? Mm-hmm. So, as these guys finish, we'll certainly announce their finishes. But as we now starting to see this endgame grind go on.
And I'd like to point out that this has been a surprisingly friendly seed. I'm pretty sure that Rivers is going to wrap this up in under an hour and a half, which is probably one of the best times we've seen all week long. Our racers didn't have to dive through Upper Babel to reach the Underworld. They got Fusoya relatively early instead of, being stuck with more mediocre mages. So it's played fairly nice tonight.
Yeah, it has. I think I completed 2 practices here, and each one of them was 215. I think I had a 215, and I think I had a 245. These seeds can be absolutely brutal with these flags. But then again, you get an early Fusoya, you get an early Yang with a Cat Claw, you get early Kain. These aren't so bad, these flags.
There's also a little bit of luck involved, though, because we have seen that there are definitely no shortage of rabbit holes for our characters to fall down, for our streamers to fall down, if they don't want to go Zot. We have the Baron Key on the table, so you can go through there and deal with both those bosses and the Odin spot. We have the Tower Key through Dark Elf's Cave, which that's another Oh my gosh, so many encounters in that tower if you go that way, and who knows what each of those item chains could lead to. So, the fact that 3 of our racers did go to Zot, or 3 of our featured racers went to Zot, is very fortunate on their parts.
Yeah, but then again, I also feel like this seed. I mean, there's certainly a ton of directions they could go, but I still feel as though it was pushing them towards Zot a little bit by having Tella hang on there. I think most of our racers wanted somebody to replace that Tella with, and I think you're seeing that issue here with Demarine. She hasn't yet gone up the Tower of Zot because she has a good party.
So, good point. Good point.
I'm wondering if she's going to leave Zot for later because she's got a really good party for Zeromus. So she doesn't care about those 2 characters up at the Tower of Zot right now.
Case in point, she is heading into Baron's old waterway, and so we're gonna be seeing the Baron fights at this point.
Now, the only possible good news here is this could lead Demarine to finding 10 key items, which will make her grind a heck of a lot quicker.
Also true. And if it gives the hook, maybe find... Well, it could give the pass, which would be great, because then you don't have to worry about diving all the way through the lunar subterrane with encounters on, mind you. And it could also give the hook, which if sirens are for sale in the Evelyn Cave, could also avoid having to do the going onto the giant to do your grind on top of that.
Alright, so it looks like Rivers is warping out of the Giant of Babil here. I didn't see what level he made it to.
Well, it's probably good enough. If it's like, with Rivers, if it's like 42, it's probably high enough.
So, this is going to take a while, though, because now he has to get through the Lunar Subterranean and the Lunar Core with encounters on.
Part of me wants to be a little cheesy and you know, try to copycat the Z3 randomizer community, be like, all right, get your guesses in. How many fights is Rivers going to run from on his way to Zeromus?
Oh, God.
Just to see how cruel people are. All of a sudden, 3-digit numbers start popping up in the chat.
Oh, God. The really nice thing is that, is that Rivers does have Edge, so he can use Edge's smoke to escape from the enemies in the Lunar Core, who are very difficult to run from.
Also true. Also true. Tapping that R button rapidly, cycling through his characters. Sorry, there are no invincible stars in Final Fantasy IV. You will not be able to just barrel through enemies like you're playing Mario Brothers.
And Rexral is going for a third of a mole of encounters.
Another one. Another one. Another one. Oh!
Made it through that floor.
Hey, these defossils are a welcome sight. Much easier to run from than some of the encounters down here. Big ol' stacks of red and blue dragons would not be pleasant.
Ooh, Demarine is checking out the Odin fight.
Evil Wall, not too troublesome. The main issue here is the speed, I believe. Let's see.
I didn't see what Demarine got from the Baron fight.
I don't think she actually fought the Kenatsu spot yet. I think she decided to do this while coming down and looting the joint. I wonder if Dimarine will end up doing metagaming at all once we start seeing the dot duns rolling in. If she'll think, no, going through here or fighting bosses here, dealing with Wyvern at the Sura spot. Those are all way too long of chains for people to have had to have gone through all that. So it'll be interesting to see if she reverses course at that point.
I think she might consider reversing course once she sees a few dot duns roll in, but I think if she sees River's dot dun, she's not going to think anything of it.
That's true. That's true.
I mean, I know that if I see Rivers finish, significantly earlier than I do, I don't think anything of it because Rivers is just, that good at this game.
Facts. True facts.
All right. River is about to head into the lunar core.
Very soon.
It looks like Silver is setting up for their D-Machine grind.
Got a bit unlucky there, because I think, well, I'm not sure who made it into the giant first, but Penguinator definitely has gotten that fight set up already, so that should put him a little bit ahead of Sylv in the race to the levels.
And now River is just running into encounter after encounter after encounter.
That crystal core encounter rate. Ugh.
And then the evil masks who have to get in 2 turns of wall before you can even think about running.
On the bright side, when the Lunarians wake up, they're going to find tons of gold just lying around the core of their moon. Like, did someone have a bank robbery go awry?
So Silverfire, not realizing that the back attack version of that enemy formation does not give the correct summon, or the correct call. Oh, Life Staff from the Odin battle. That's actually really nice for Rosa.
It's fantastic gear, but that is not what Dimarine wants to see right now.
And the reason why that's so great for Rosa is because it grants a game-high plus 15 to willpower.
Definitely buffs those Cure 4s when you're trying to recover from big bangs. Let's see if this is the right one. For Silverfire, hopefully this will yield D-Machines and not Centaurs. We'll know shortly.
Uh-oh. What happened to Penguinator?
I don't know. You know what could have happened? Because I know I've done this about a dozen times and gotten extremely angry. Okay, chat's saying that, Nitsy's saying that he ripped during grind. One thing I've done a lot of, ashamedly, is while trying to learn how to do the run buffering trick. Pro tip, if you do that in a fight that you can run from, you'll probably just run away. I know, I've killed like 10 dragon machines before and then ran away, and I'm like, oh no. Okay, he did actually take a wipe to the D machine, so not quite as embarrassing as what I did. But still a painful situation.
All right, so Rivers is getting himself prepped and ready.
Is Kane still rocking that wind spear? Oof. Got a nice big stack of Bacchus wine. Any silk webs in there? I'm not seeing any silk webs. Oh, there they are. Yeah, so that combination of J. Adams right there will pretty much trivialize this fight, as if his team wasn't already strong enough.
All right, so this is going to be a little bit slower of a fight than we're used to seeing here at Zeromus, but should still be relatively straightforward. Silverfire now getting the correct fight, and they're now both Silverfire and Penguinator getting the correct fight. And we have the first appearance of Edward. Hi, Edward. Bye, Edward.
And let's see who our Zeromus form is tonight.
That's the same one I had the other night. The Dark King from Final Fantasy Mystic Quest.
River's doing a little fancy bit of agility manipulation there, swapping the Cat Claw and its associated agility boost out for a longsword, which does a little more damage. I'm guessing his edge is back row glitched. I didn't actually see the fight where he triggered that, but there's no way that he's not, so...
Oh, this could be interesting. The Baron item was the Luca key.
Oh, Demarine, no! Go!
Is Demarine gonna go down this rabbit hole? Oh, it's looking like it. Oh.
It's such a long dive with encounters on, and you have to fight 3 trapdoors to boot.
Oh. Well, I suppose the good news here is her next key item will give her 10 key items.
That's true, that's true. Oh, and here comes the Babel Climb.
Yeah,
makes more sense than Sealed Cave, since we do have the tower key, so 2 key items here, but you hate to see that.
And this is Randomizer, so this happened... I mean, I think we were very fortunate that 3 out of the 4 here actually followed the right breadcrumbs and kind of went the right quote-unquote path. But this, what Demarine is doing, happens a lot more often than not, where somebody just takes the wrong path, even though a quicker one exists.
Yeah, and like you said, I think a huge part of that is because she got such a good party early on. I think she was the first one to go get Rosa at Mount Hobbs, and because she had a good team, she didn't want to go into Zod, and that may be what ends up costing her quite a bit of time on this race. Looking forward to seeing her thoughts on that at the end.
Yeah, we'll have to run that theory by her, see if it was an accurate theory or if it's just she didn't choose to go there.
River's probably just taking a refresher break while his team knocks out Zeromus or Darkomus all on their own. No inputs required. Okay, now an input's required.
Yeah, and that looked like a full power Big Bang that River's just ate, but don't think that really matters to him at this point.
No, he even has Rosa berserked right now, doing on DPS, so he's just leaning back and taking it easy this fight. But I'm glad to see Rosa, Warrior Princess, in all her glory for this fight.
Silverfire running into a little bit of trouble here in this grind.
Yeah, the Dragon Machine grind can quickly turn on you if you have your melee character accidentally hit before the weak spell goes off, because they hit like trucks, and if they kill your spellcaster, all of a sudden your entire party can drop in a hurry.
Alright, so we have Milan Z in Dr. Lugay's spot.
He actually does have a ravine near him for a change. It's more of a bottomless pit in the tower, but still, there is something for people to fall flat into nearby.
Yeah, and look how fast that D-Machine is. He's just getting those fires off like if they're nothing.
Even Fu getting in on the bonk action. And we have a winner coming in first place with an official time of 1 hour, 25 minutes, and 38 seconds. Rivers McCown takes down Zeromus first.
Alright, so let's see what Demarine gets for her troubles here at Dr. Luge's spot. Ooh, she gets the spoon, which is going to be really nice once she eventually makes her way up to the moon and gets Edge, if she gets there.
It'd be pretty great if the tower item ends up giving her the pass, and so we actually never even see Edge on that screen, just to see the many different paths that one can take to actually complete a free Enterprise seed.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
This is interesting. It looks like Penguinator and Silverfire have finished their grind at the same time. And so this may be a race to see who has fewer encounters on their way through the lunar core.
Yeah, this is going to be cool. Ooh, is Silverfire have enough levels?
I think Silverfire can pull it off with this team. The main thing is I hope that they remember they can warp backwards instead of walking backwards.
Yeah. The one time I did this, I forgot and I walked back. And then Octomom at the Dark Imp spot.
Oh yeah, Silverfire's going for it. Having seen the dot done in over on in the IRC channel, I'm sure that's making them just run out like, oh no, gotta get to Zeromus and gotta get there fast.
And with
Rivers,
that,
congratulations!
Thanks, guys.
Nicely done, sir.
Easy seed, easy life.
Yeah, I thought these flags were supposed to be difficult. What are you doing making us look like a bunch of whiners?
That's kind of my job, right?
Absolutely. So, altogether, hot on your heels, both Penguinator and Silverfire have wrapped up their grinds and are going to be following suit. Demarine seemed to have a few too many paths open to her, so she's having a little rougher time of it. But look clean. What did you think about that?
There was a really slow overworld for sure, and I think I got too used to the flags where with no encounters with Cecil, because I was like dragging him along and then realizing, oh wait, he's just making me take a lot of back attacks. This is a bad idea. And then, just stumbled upon Edge. That's fine. I'll take that. I'll take that.
And I want to personally thank you from the bottom of my heart for doing Rosa, Warrior Princess, during your Zeromus battle. It means so much to see someone else just letting her drink that Bacchus wine and go wild.
The sad thing is, like, she was better than Kane, so why not? Freaking wind spear, the best thing I find for him. That's crazy.
So let's see what the Marine gets here from the power key. She gets Sand Ruby.
Oh baby, Iridia free.
So Rivers, you were one of 3 people that we saw that made the decision that once you saw Fusoya, that ditched Sid instead of Cecil or instead of Tella. So I guess we were talking about it a little bit here on commentary. Why not ditch Cecil at that point? Why ditch Sid?
I was thinking that Cecil had more weapons available to him, and in these flags, in K2 mainly, I like to have Cecil available to back row tank if I have to get really deep into the seed. It just so happened this time that we didn't really have to fight anything that hard. We didn't have to go to Ashura or Leviathan or Odin or any of the moon spots at all. So I really like having Cecil alive for that option, just because I think he provides some cover that other characters wouldn't.
Yeah, K2 seed and Moon completely completely unrequired, not required. None of the stuff you needed was there.
Yeah. So
it looks
that was
like
really fortunate.
Pass.
Marine looks like she's going to the moon.
Passes at Pale Dim spot too, so Dark Crystal definitely the way to go here.
Spoiling everything for everybody now.
All right, so now this is a battle of who can get down to Zeromus quicker, Penguinator or Silverfire?
Who has the luckier encounter seed?
Looks like Penguinator right now has a floor lead, but coming up quick from the outside, it's Silverfire.
Oh no, Silverfire! You don't need a full moon. Go, go, go!
The Marine opening the treasure chest in the Giant of Babel and finds the last arm. I believe this was a Dragoon piece of equipment. I want to say maybe the Dragoon armor, maybe?
I think you're right. We'll see soon.
In Babel?
Yeah.
Or Zot?
Or Giant.
Babel.
Giant.
Yeah, I didn't check that.
Did you ever check the Feymark?
No, I never went in there at all.
Okay.
That helps. That helps.
The only reason I ask is because the Feymark key item was the defense sword.
Oh, well, that would have changed a lot of things, actually. That would have made Kane actually good.
Mm-hmm. And the trap chest on the way down was the Dragoon Spear, so all of a sudden both Cecil and Kane have some pretty good loadout options.
Yeah, I think the way the seed played out, you're probably better off not doing either of those anyway, but that would have helped at least.
Yeah, and how juicy was the Sylph Cave spot? Getting your Darkness Crystal and your Earth Crystal through there. It's like, okay, well, here we go.
That was crazy because like all of a sudden, the entire board was open to you, and like my thought process was just let's go for the characters. I didn't have the treasures were kind of an ancillary thought in my mind too because I didn't really have like a heroine robe or something that would boost enough speed to get past Cecil's deficiencies. Mm-hmm. So I thought about that. I thought about the characters. I was like, oh, well, let's make those Earth Crystal play, and happened to be the very right play.
Yeah, and Zima and I were theorizing a little bit, and that said, of you four featured runners, Demarine's the only one who checked Hobbs before Zod. I mean, she's not been to Zod anyway. And Rosa is also on Hobbs. So if you already have a team that's good enough, are you really going to go up Zod and check two more characters when you're feeling comfortable already? Whereas you, Penguinator, and Silverfire all did Zod before hopping over to Hobbs.
Look at this Penguinator, man. I got a samurai bow. I didn't get a samurai bow.
Well, you got something a little more important than that. It's called First Place.
Oh, do I get those? Okay.
Yeah, you get that too.
Okay, that's cool.
At the cost of one samurai bow.
These two are right on top of each other. Penguinator and Silverfire.
Yep.
Why the lunar staff, Silver? The life staff is better.
I mean, knowing, the 5-point difference of willpower may not make too big of a difference, and there's a lot of equipment to try to keep track of in the game, so... Still think the main thing here is going to be how terrible the encounter rate is on the way down. Because Silverfire still has Cecil. Does Penguinator still have Cecil, or did he ditch Cecil? Let's see. Yeah. No Cecil.
The next attack.
So.
Yeah. So Zeromus should be a little slower on Penguinator's side. So I think. Oh, geez, look at Yang's HP too.
Yeah, I think that Penguinator got a few more of the D machines done back in the Giant as well.
Having Cecil on the way down here actually is good for you too if he's high level because the red Ds will not get off heat ray quite as often.
Oh, really? Interesting.
Dev Shand, apparently the pass was at the Ogopogo. No, not Ogopogo. The Pale Dim spot.
Yeah.
The Vanilla Murasame.
managed to get a peek at it during River's end credits.
And it looks like DeMarine has found the D-Machine grind fight, I think.
She's doing that before she even has the crystal. That's an interesting call. K2 is kind of fascinating in that way, because if you go grind early, you may be digging out, the entire seed with level 60 characters once you're getting to the end.
Yeah, I've done that. I think one of the first seeds I played in was a K2, and of the weeklies, and I ground before going up to the moon, and I think my characters were at level 70 by the time I got to Zeromus. It's like, oh my god, I overdid it a little bit.
Yeah, that's why I'm not a big fan of that play in particular, but I understand where it's coming from for sure. It does make things faster to actually kill the bosses.
Yeah, if you think you're going to have to go through all of the lunar subterranean, I can understand getting a little bit, but...
Okay, so Penguinator enters the fight at 39. Silverfire... 13, 14, 15... 17 seconds behind.
Oh, baby. We got a race.
Let's see, 6,000, 2,300, 1,800 plus change. Yeah, Penguinator's Yang is definitely stronger in terms of HP, but Silverfire's Rosa and Fusoya both have more HP than Penguinator's counterpart, so a nasty Big Bang could end up deciding this.
Yeah, and I think the Cecil Kane combo for Silverfire is probably going to do more damage, I think, than the Kane Edge Yang combo for Penguinator.
Well, let's wait and see how much this high level Yang is pumping out, though.
That's true.
Come on, Penguin. Come on. You know you don't want to Berserk Rosa. You know you want to.
Ooh, and Fu takes a dirt nap.
Ooh.
Rough roll. And it looks like we've got our first forfeit from Hippos.
Oh, you hate to see that, but we have had 2 really good weeks in a row. The last 2 weeks, we had 1 forfeit combined from both, so it's okay to have a little more difficulty on a given night.
Yeah, that's really a shame. I know that these seeds are a little bit tougher, and I know that people really don't like to run the encounters on, and that's why if we were ever to have a league, like say a league that might be further details announced on the RPG Limit Break invitational stream, that maybe we would probably not use that flag at all.
Wait, wouldn't use which flag? The Encounters On or Encounters Off flag?
It would not use E0 at all.
Interesting.
Yeah, I've actually not played a single seed with E1 or E2. I've done E0, E3, and E4, but I need to actually give those others a try sometime, just to see how they play out.
Yeah, you should give it a try. I've actually haven't really played either of those very much either, because we've been so focused on making this seed type the vanilla seed, but it'd be interesting for sure.
Oh, this is really exciting. I'm usually racing instead of commentating, but I know of the ones that I've watched. I believe this is the closest I've seen 2 people on the featured stream, at once. So,
this is, Yang is just pumping out the damage. He's putting out 16 to 2,000 more than Silverfire's Yang. But I think Silver Cecil is doing and Penguinators.
And also, with the mop still standing up, getting a nuke off now and again, too, to help nerf those big bangs. Get both the damage on the boss and reduced on your end.
Ooh, now Kane takes a knee.
This is really tight right here.
Oh, come on, Sylv, you gotta menu faster than that. No, there we go. Sniped!
Penguin finishes in second place with an official SRL time of 1:4.
GG.
And let's see how near behind him Silverfire is. It turns out that a level 60-something Yang does a little bit of damage.
Just a bit. Just a bit.
Oh no, and it looks like Silverfire's run out of MP for Mop.
If only you could use the cabin in battle. Here comes the Cure Rod. Oh baby, Cure Rod strats.
I mean, we've seen carrots and trash cans used in vanilla speedruns. Time to start breaking out the cabins and throwing houses on top of your enemies.
28. Hey, that's an FF9 strat.
That's true, that's true.
All right, so it looks like DeMarine is happy with right now her party in the mid-40s.
I think I heard the faint sound of Penguinator saying he needs a second and we'll be right back. Penguinator, are you with us?
Yep.
Hey! GG!
Thank you.
Yeah, you pretty much sniped Silverfire out at the end. You two were neck and neck charging down the lunar subterrane. But
yeah, I see that now.
That Yang of yours was just pumping out the damage so hard.
He is the second best character.
Yeah, in these flags, I find Yang to be really useful. I mean, really.
Alright, so I was about 2 minutes.
Some would call that canon.
I was so disappointed that we didn't have anyone dive into... Well, I forgot. I meant to do it when DeMarine was in there to ask, you know, is this canon? Is this canon? But completely overlooked it because I think that you were pretty much at the Z fight by then. So.
Well, I tried.
I saw Yang early, and he's not that good early on, so I left him there. But I was planning to come back for him. So as soon as I was ready to grind, I went back and got him from Watery Pass.
Silverfire has finished in third place with an official SRL time of 1:43.16, so 2 minutes behind Penguinator, and they were originally separated by 15 seconds going into the Z fight.
So yeah, excellent execution on that Z fight. I could have used a little more Battle Rosa, but you know, when your mop falls down, she has other things to attend to.
Yeah, actually, equipped poorly. I was kind of giving Rosa fighting stats for fun, but she wasn't really healing enough with that equipment. I should have given her more white magic boosting.
And it looks like DeMarine is going to start clearing out lunar spots instead of going back to Zod.
Yeah, this is going to take her a while to clear this out.
Our restreamer Nora doing a little rearranging here, just cleaning up the stream a little bit.
So we haven't seen the pass, have we?
We know where it is because of River's credits, and it is at the Pale Dim spot. But yeah, overall, pretty clean seed. No moon locations required. Even Fame Arch not actually required. So.
Yeah, any general thoughts on the Sea Penguin?
Magma Key start was definitely nice. No Palin was a bit disappointing. Just rocking Tella and Fusoi early, which is a bit awkward in my opinion. Also, not that many weapons that I found, so Sid was pretty useless. But the early crystal, well, relatively easy crystal, early magma key were both pretty nice. Yeah, as soon as I saw that crystal, I think I already had darkness. I just knew I was just going to grind. I looked for sirens, but I didn't see any.
Yeah, I think we never saw any sirens, period. So we're under the assumption that they're in the Eblon shop.
Well, they don't actually have to be in the seed, but yes, if they are there, I think they can only be the Eblin shop or Feymark. I didn't check.
No, I did go down to Feymarch just to check for sirens.
Yeah, so if they are there, it's Evelyn, but that's the only remaining option.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like Demarine is headed down to the pale dim spot.
Let's see what enemy actually waits here, because we know what the loot is, but we don't know what you have to fight to get it.
And we have the Dark Elf.
Hello.
Hey, GG Silverfire.
Thank you.
So, what did you think about the seed, my friend?
It was way more straightforward than every single practice seed I did on these flags.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. This was absolutely straightforward.
I guess
almost,
you could get one up if you went to the moon before checking Zot. But given that all of the white mages were in Zot, like, did you really want to go fight Zeromus like that?
Well, funny enough, Rosa was also at the back of Mount Hobbs.
Oh, who checks there?
The Marine checks there.
Yeah, the Marine checked there. So because her party is set up very well right now, she hasn't bothered to go up to Zot yet.
I know. She and I, she teases me about not checking that spot ever. I thought about checking that spot, and I was like, no, I'll just go and check this. And then I was like, oh, I'll just go underground. And then I was like, okay, I have Fusoya now, so like, I'm not that rushing into checking spots. And then I kept going, and I'm like, I still don't really have a white mage. But overall, the only thing I'm a little disappointed about is I still made a wrong turn in Lunar Subterrane.
I mean, you got a full moon. That helps, right?
Full moon when I already had a Murasame and a ninja sword.
Yeah, well, you and Penguinator actually finished within... you started the Zeromus battle within 15 seconds of each other.
Oh, really? So his was much faster?
Yeah, the reason being is his D-Machine grind took his Yang up to I don't know what level, but Yang was doing 4,500 damage.
10 key items for his D-Machine grind?
I don't think so.
I did not, and I did like 14 D-Machines and then stopped. So I only got like 600k.
No,
so
I know
my
exactly
play with Yang was I left him there until I was ready to grind, so he was still level 10, so he got boosted experience on the grind fight.
Gotcha. Okay.
And I did about
XP,
20 D-Machines.
Probably another thing I did is that I fought Leviathan and I peeked at what Asura was.
You want to tell him what it was?
And then I got my face melted by Wyvern in a 66 agility spot.
Yeah,
we were kind of hoping that was the crystal spot, just to make things a little.
I
more
really
interesting.
wanted that to be the crystal spot. Let's be fair. That's the second time this week I've had Wyvern at that spot. Both times it disappointed me. Neither time it was required.
But yeah, that's a really clever idea, Penguinator. I really like that strategy, that if it's a character who, early game, middle game, not as useful, but you can get triple XP and send them, through the ceiling like that.
It's a nice strategy.
That makes sense. That's a good way to do that.
Yeah, really clever. I'm gonna have to file that one away.
Yeah.
One time we're practicing, I had by accident like level 80 Cecil and Yang.
And they were the only two who got turns at Zeromus.
Yeah, I had the same thing happen to my seed actually, because I got Rosa so late. I wound up with her at 58, and everybody else like 50, 51.
Rosa ended up with me at like 54, I think, for that kind of effect.
The weird thing about that
it wasn't
grind
quite
was,
enough to get white though, which was really awkward.
the weird thing about that grind was that I only had Fu and Rosa's MP to play with at all. So I had to start psyching Rosa during the middle of the grind.
I psyched Cecil once, and then I just ended it after that. My biggest hitch that was actually probably I screwed up trying to find the D Machine fight, and like I found a Horseman fight even though the thingy said it was going to be a D Machine fight, and I'm like, what did I do wrong?
Well, while Demarine makes her way down to the lunar subterranean, let's cover a few of the exciting things happening fairly soon in both Free Enterprise and here on the Randomania network of stations. As you are all aware, because you're here watching, we have the Monday night race each week. Starting Friday, June 1st, we're going to be having a second weekly, so if you've wanted to participate, but Monday nights just aren't cutting it for you, consider joining in on Fridays. It's tons of fun. I didn't start racing anything on SRL till I joined the Free Enterprise community. Wonderful people to help you get started. And here on your Randomania network of channels, let's see, coming up, airing in just a little bit on Randomania 2, we have a Zelda 2 randomizer tournament going on. Tomorrow morning, there is Super Mario Land 2 Randomizer League, and tomorrow evening, both at 6 a.m. Eastern and at 6 p.m. Eastern. Wednesday, there will be more Zelda 2 Max Rando Tournament, and then the Dragon Warrior Randomizer Weekly Race that night at 9 p.m. So make sure you give a follow to the Randomania Network, make sure you give all our runners a follow, and stay tuned for more action. Does anyone else have any upcoming events that we may be overlooking?
I heard there was a RPG Limit Break Free Enterprise Invitational.
Oh yeah, I've heard there may even be some new announcements coming up then. When is that invitational again?
That would be June 9th, the Saturday. It's at, I believe, 1 p.m. Eastern Time.
Excellent.
So you'll get 2 races out of that, and maybe more. Who knows? Who hypothetically knows?
And I think we may have lost our stream momentarily. Nora, are you still out there? Ah, there it is. Okay. Demarine challenging Keinatsu in one of the lunar spots.
I think this is the Crystal Sword spot, because I think that's where she was headed. And if I'm right, it's going to be the hook. I believe that's what I saw in Silverfire's stream.
Hello, Big Wave. Keinatsu in these spots is always a real pain to deal with.
Keinatsu's a pain in pretty much every spot. Probably the I'm wondering if with Free Lunch Active, if he is not the rudest boss in Free Enterprise.
The later he
scares
appears,
him.
the worse he is, in my opinion.
We have a 4th place finisher, by the way. F. Coughlin finished with an SRL official time of 1 hour, 54 minutes, and 29 seconds. Also coming in under the 2-hour mark.
Go Fred. Sir Nico, we had, what is it, 22? 23 people?
23 or 24, yeah.
And 3 of us have finished already on the stream because somebody picked good players. Now that Demarine has the hook, I wonder if she'll find the sirens.
Oh, goodness.
I don't even think she's going to look for sirens.
I must say, I'm very overwhelmed by how big and great this community has gotten in such a small time that we could have 24 people join what is essentially a troll seed race. And that's with three other players who play pretty often, just hanging out and doing commentary and tracking. So.
Oh yes, by the way, we should absolutely thank our tracker for tonight, Night Dew. Been doing an excellent job behind the scenes tracking all the action that's been going on.
And of course, special thanks to our restreamer Norestra for helping make sure this even gets to happen. You know, I don't know how to do this. Do you know how to do this, E-Man?
I don't, but I know plenty of people do. So you know, if it's not for Nora, we'd find somebody.
Oh, you see, I'm trying to hype up our friends.
Shots
You
fired.
gotta go, take them out of the knees.
Shots fired, man.
Nora and I have worked together on many restreams. He's done a bunch of the Zelda 1s, he's done a bunch of the Dragon Warriors, I think I've called the Zelda 2 with him. So yeah, he and I have, we jab each other like that all the time. So, but yeah, thank you very much, Nora. We do appreciate all your help.
See, Silverfire pointing out in the chat that none of the seeds have been this potentially straightforward, and that may also be what's tripping Demarine up. After a week of, playing trolley seeds, which have you looping around, through the moon and back to Earth and here and there, may not be expecting, such a direct path to the end game.
Oh, this is a really painful boss fight in this state too. Without anything that can really hit back row besides Kane's jump, gotta whittle down CPU.
The Great Cernico, the crystal, is obtained after clearing the Tower of Zot.
So she could go there at any time. However, it's absolutely a plausible and logical play to be hanging out on subterranean at this point, just given how many key item locations are potentially here. And it's just not going to work for her at all.
I mean, when it comes to quote-unquote easiness of clearing, then, uh-oh, please kill the CPU, please kill the CPU. Uh-oh.
Now, Globe 199 time. Here it comes. Oof.
Yeah, this is a tough fight to try to time things off of like this, unfortunately. I can tell you, just in creating a strat that would work in this scenario for the No 64 speedrun, it was actually very particular to make that sort of thing work. Fortunately, there's not really that much trouble getting people back up with 2 white mages, so there is that, but the remedy is just done and cured a lot of what damage was done.
Well, that and Demarine is soaking up, using a lot of Fusoya's MP, and I'm not sure what MP curatives she even has.
Yeah, I didn't find a single one in my run at all.
Yeah, 35,000 HP on the main CPU, and then 3,500 on the attacker and defender.
Yeah, cabins, I think, were the only thing that pretty much everybody found, Silver. This was a very recovery item starved seed. I mean, I think, was it Penguin? Did you have the Cure 3s or did Silver?
I had Cure 3s.
You did have Cure 3s, okay.
Don't remember where I got them. Might have been Fey March.
Yeah, if it was Fey Mark, that would make a lot of sense because I didn't see them at all.
Silverfire also bringing up a rather decent point in chat. Okay, so these seeds aren't going to be money plenty as it stands because you're just not getting the high level items, right? But this seed seemed a little more money starved than even normal. I mean, it just seemed like there was no money out there at all.
Yeah, I remember at the very start of the game, Rivers, when you were in the Troya item shops trying to figure out which of your items to sell to actually pick up a few star veils. You're like, no, I kind of want most of this. I guess I'll sell this and pick up a couple. Like it was like you could see the decision making at work there.
Yeah, that was an interesting early play. Unfortunately, like looking back, I would have tried to do Damsian first, just because I didn't have much to sell at all. But in the moment, I didn't really think about it very much, and thankfully, by the time I actually fought Golbez at the inn, I had Tella all powered up anyway, so it didn't really matter that much.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting to note that the Marine is using Lilith Rod strats to refill Fu's MP.
So heads up, it looks like on the restream, guys, there's going to be a second runner added here.
Oh, excellent! Bring in Bill Boddix.
That's right. As Alexa would say, we summoned him. And
Meanwhile, Bill Boddix appears.
And he apparently also does not have the crystal and is hanging around the lunar core, so this should be a closer race to watch, at least. I fiddled around a little bit, and I saw that Nirm was also fighting Zeromus, so he should be done pretty soon. If he's not done already.
Excellent. We do have a second forfeit, which, again, with, these more difficult set of flags, unsurprising. So hopefully we'll get to see more .duns appearing than .forfeits pretty soon, especially with Nirm cleaning up.
Yeah, and I mentioned this as we were kind of going along, that anything sub-2 on these flags was potentially very good. And, of course, the only sub-2s we got were Rivers, Penguinator, Silverfire, and Fred. So 4 out of 24 sub-2ing. Sub-2's a good job.
Is sub-2 good? I don't know. It's okay, I guess.
yeah, I get a little repetitive. I do get repetitive sometimes. I guess I get repetitive, right?
You see, I thought Rivers was joking because he finished at sub 90 minute. It's like, oh,
yeah, that's
I guess
what I was saying.
Sub 2's okay.
It's fine.
Well, sub 90 is sub 2. It's all inclusive.
Oh, there we go. We got a 5th place. Kobahi has finished with an SRL official time of 2 hours, 3 minutes, and 11 seconds. I bet that Kobahi probably has sniped a few people, so let's see if more real... Oh! I can't even finish the sentence. Nirm finishes with 2 hours, 3 minutes, and 27 seconds. A 16-second difference.
Wow.
That's beautiful. Yeah, Kobahi actually is a really old-school FF4 runner. He used to play a lot back in the day, and he actually ran it in a 4-way race at RPG Limit Break in 2015. So
cool.
It's amazing to see him getting back into the game through this randomizer, and it's really cool that he sniped Nirm there. Much as I love Nirm, don't get me wrong.
So Rosa does pick... behind the ribbon spots was the white robe for Rosa, which is a nice little pickup, and the Gunjir staff for King, but of course the Dragoon staff is better.
Well, Demarine definitely won't be shy of loot when she wraps up her trip on the moon. The painful part is... Oh no, okay, she does have the pass. She will not have to make this walk of shame a second time, thankfully. So... when she does get the crystal, it'll be pretty much straight to Troya Town, and then back to Zeromus that way.
So Bill is headed up Tower of Battle, which I haven't seen yet. It looks like this is the Dark Imp fight, because I know that the Fabul Gauntlet was in the Giant.
No, this is the Milan Z fight, and then in the Tower Key spot...
Oh, the Milan Z fight. There you go.
Yeah, the sprite coloration gets off there for some reason.
It's because there's only so many pallets that the screen can hold at one time.
The pass was indeed on the moon. It was in the pale dim spot.
The Baron guards appear to... oh, okay, they are countering. I thought I saw an attack that didn't draw a counter, but nope, there's the piggies.
Yeah, it's an interesting thing you guys brought up that getting Rosa early on the mountain actually may have pushed Demarin away from heading up the Earth Crystal.
Yeah, because I know that if I don't have a Z-ready team and I have Zod access, I'm going to Zod, you know, double character options, but...
Yeah, looking at my inventory early in that seed, and when I actually went into, a technical go mode, I was thinking a lot about how I could find edge, because that was what all my weapons pointed to, really.
Yeah, we saw ninja swords, we saw a ninja cowl, we saw a ninja vest, we saw Murasame. I think we saw pretty much everything except the Masamune. So he definitely loaded for edge this seed.
See, I never even saw Murasame. I was like, I had a ninja sword and a long, and I was like, oh man, this is better than anything. Hey, Inven, is this canon?
This is canon. This is absolutely canon. 100% canon.
And you thought you wouldn't get to say it.
I know! I'm so happy. So I think Demarin is running low on lunar bosses to beat up at this point.
I think he just has the Ogopogo boss.
Yeah, I think that's the only one left.
I know, man, is that one a pain to pick off when you're playing in with encounters on? Just trying to walk to the damn thing.
Absolutely.
Yeah, the encounter rate seems very high on that floor in particular.
Let's see, any more finishers? Still no one else. They're coming in few and far between tonight. I wonder if a bunch of people also have made the Lunar Subterrane gamble on a night when it's not actually going to pay off.
Yeah, I mean, people have talked a lot about metagaming off finishes before, and people may have seen me finishing first and been like, oh, well, that must mean that you've got to dive the Lunar. But not the case this time.
Nope, not this time.
Well, there's a dot done. We got Big Dunka coming in at 208.13, 7th place.
Excellent, excellent.
GG to him. He's a, as far as I know, a big name Z3 runner who has come in and pretty quickly become pretty respectable in this game.
Yeah, I think we're starting to get a lot of people who, just because I know that I played both those games at pretty much the same time in my childhood. So if you have fond memories of one, you probably have fond memories of the other. And, finding out that this randomizer exists as well, I think we're going to see a lot of influx of people excited to try something new.
Boardface, when is Z3/FF4 combo rando? Thanks.
Oh, God, yes, please.
No! No. No! No, we have to find our own game to combine it with. You have the Zelda 3 plus Super Metroid, Super Mario World plus Final Fantasy 4?
Well, RPG, Dragon Warrior. You should do the two Dragon Warrior, Dragon Warrior, or like Silverfire says in chat, FF1.
I mean, if we were doing Dragon Warrior, we would do the true Square Enix crossover combo right there. Just what the shareholders always wanted.
That's true. You could get, I don't know, the crystal could be hidden in the vanilla Erdrick sword chest. There you go.
Command.
Silva, I apologize. I'll try to do worse next time.
Silverfire suggesting 7th Saga. Only if we can patch it back to have correct stat growth, please.
What if you patched?
Go ahead.
What if you patched 7th Saga to instead be Super Tennis?
but would that be canon?
I believe it just happened, so yeah.
Oh, there is a 7th Saga Rando, and it does have correct stat growth. Excellent. Okay. Cool.
It's a pretty good rando. Game Boy F9 is the main contributor behind that, and it's pretty good. I played it once, and I've watched several people play it, and it's a fun rando.
Yeah, I remember I think when I was a kid I got Secret of Mana and Seventh Saga around the same time, and one of those games ended up getting a lot more hours than the other one. Like, why is this so hard? And just pretty much gave up on it. And that's why I ended up playing Seventh Saga. Secret of Mana was just so hard. I just sarcasm.
So Robotics is now doing the he's doing the Wyvern fight.
Let's get some Wyverns in the chat if you got them. Are you fast enough, Edge? Are you fast enough?
Ooh,
this might be interesting.
Rip.
Robotics using that run buffer that we all taught him about. Look at that. It's too bad that Team Wyverns doesn't care about that.
And Wyvern's like, no, I'm just going to nuke you now.
Oh, survivable nuke, at least.
Yeah.
Hey! Rip.
Team Marine with a clue here, headed to tower.
Finally.
Only had to clear out the entirety of the moon first, that's all.
I don't know, she might need to grind some more levels.
Man, did she find the sirens anywhere?
She never checked Evelyn, unfortunately. So Bill's in a weird position here where he actually wants Edge to get hit by one of these nukes just so everybody can stand up for a bit.
Yeah, but at the same point, when does Wyvern do his second Mega Nuke?
I think there will be a remedy first, and that'll be kind of the cue that it's coming, if I remember correctly. I've not had to fight Wyvern for this long, in a very long time.
Look at all these misses on screen. Chad now talking about FF4 tennis, FF15 golf, but what about FF4 rando comboed with Blitzball?
You know, I have never played Blitzball.
Have you ever played land Blitzball?
Nope.
It's called soccer.
Oh. I may have played a couple of games of that, but no.
And if anybody watched the FF6 any percent no sketch speedrun that was at RPG Limit Break, you'll also know that we could combo FF4 rando with pro bass fishing.
I missed that part of that race. I saw a few hours of it, but I did not see that part. I'll have to go hunt that down.
Yeah, after Sid wakes up, there's manipulation to feed him fish faster, and one player got it, and one player fell like 3 minutes behind because he did not get it.
Ooh. Uh-oh.
Bill Biotics using the pause strats.
Contemplating, do I play this out? Is this a mistake?
Or perhaps tending to a child.
Also possible. Hey! There we go. The fight was already handled.
I hope he gets something good for this fight.
Oh, baby.
Nope.
Bum bum ba bum.
In fairness, a great item to have in glitchless, but or, I'm sorry, with glitches on. Just now, not so much.
All right, Demarine. As soon as we get through one more boss fight, she'll be getting her crystal and be off to fight Zeromus as well.
Did not take Porum. A bold stance at this point.
This is the time in the seed where if you were playing, I don't know, Zelda 1 or Zelda 2 or Zelda 3, that you would take frustration swipes at the crystal at this point, because like, God, I tricked this center.
Yeah, I think the closest thing we get is frustration right trigger taps. Just rotate through those characters as quickly as possible.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, Bill headed to Sealed Cave now.
Oh, Bill making all the wrong plays.
The worst thing about this though is that he's also going to have to eat the 4 or 5 trapdoor encounters on the way, just to get nothing.
Yeah, I think if you take a direct route, you only have to do 3 of them, right?
It's either 3 or 4. But yeah, when I 17 to 17 AC practicing like this at RPG Limit Break, this was actually the place where the crystal was, because there was no way I was going here any time but last in these flags.
Slog flags. And Demarine about to have the moment of realization.
Dun, da, da, da.
And hey, we've got an eighth place finisher with Holy Smith coming in at 217.25.
Excellent, excellent. GG, Holy Smith.
Adding cursed ring hype, nice. Spoilers: there was a cursed ring in the seed. What?
Oh,
Doctor of Spin.
That's kind of. Let's see if Demarine remembers the extra Chocobo Forest over here. Oh no! Goes right past it. That's fun.
Doctor of Spin finishing 9th place with 217.50. GG.
Yeah, I'm sure Demarine is thankful that she did not forget to do the Pale Dim spot, and thus have to redo the Lunar Walk.
And given Demarine's levels, this should be a relatively straightforward Zeromus fight. Also worthy to note over on Bilbotic's side is that he is keeping Sid dead. I'm assuming that's because Sid at this point has an agility of 14, and thus makes the Zeromus fight extraordinarily quick.
Certainly, I wonder if Demarine Sid may not have gained too many levels. I think she's checking out agility stats right quick to confirm that. Yeah, 23 is not ideal.
23 is not ideal, but I've had it before. In my opinion, having a 23 agility anchor is certainly reasonable. And what?
I think Yang may be a little too fast for that. This could be troublesome.
Oh, I missed
43.
43. That's good.
Okay.
That's good.
That's real good. Sid won't get a lot of turns, but Zeromus should be pretty darn slow.
Yeah. I thought I saw 48 there. I'm like, wait a minute.
Yeah. I thought I saw like 37 or something. Clearly lost focus.
The Great Cernico, it takes a ton of levels, in my experience, to get Sid up to a point where his agility is a concern against Zeromus. The highest I've ever managed to get his agility was 24, I think, and I still didn't have much of a problem with Zeromus at that point. But, as always, your mileage may vary.
Yeah, it's all pretty much relative, so... Yeah, it shouldn't be too bad. The main thing I would hate to go in with like a 27 and then just, know that it could have been so much better with just one more point.
So let's see if Bill resets or if he actually walks back out.
Yeah, with the Masamune, I would... Oh, that's right, you have to warp out.
Yeah, and you still have to fight a boss, too, which takes up more time. Yeah.
That's right. Nope.
He's like, let's see if it's someone. Nope. We're good. Ooh, that juicy yang damage. 4,000 a pop. And it looks like Bill, yes, go towards Zod, go towards Zod. So Bill should be in pretty good shape as well.
Lilagaya, why is he the Mystic Quest boss? Because why not?
We like the Z flag. It's silly. That's even how it's described on the website.
And we have a 10th place finisher. JC87 has finished with a time of 2:21.49.
Hey, good job, JC, making top 10 tonight. Well done.
Nice.
It looks like Billbotics is finally making the play up the Tower of Zot.
One random encounter at a time.
I do enjoy when the Z boss sprite flag is Kit's a boss in here who's so big that he pretty much overlaps your party.
It's like Rosa should just steal that bow from him. I'm sure she'd do just fine with it.
And Billbotics about to fight the Rubicant battle. Meanwhile, Demarine making slow and steady work of Darkomus, the Dark Knight, Dark King, I'm sorry, from Final Fantasy Mystic Quest.
You just need to cast a couple cure spells on him. You can do that overflow in here too, right? It's canon.
Yeah, exactly. It's what they use in the speedrun, so it has to be canon, right?
Mm-hmm.
That is a dangerous quake.
Now, I think Demarine is doing that because I think her Fusuya is pretty much out of MP, I think, at this point.
Burn through them quite quickly. Oh, there's the Meteo.
Yep, and now it's just damage away.
Cloudy with a chance of meatballs, like every Zeromus fight.
Dink, dink. Miss. Any second.
Oh, the snipe!
Uh-oh.
Wow. So we got.
Ooh.
That's crazy.
In 11th place, we have Scratch Dragon with a 225.38, and in 12th place, we have Damarin, 225.43, a 5-second difference between 11th and 12th.
Ooh, so close, so close. GG Demarine!
You'll excuse me for not letting the ending rock for everybody, because I'm sure you've seen it 3 times already, because that's how streams work for me.
Just so you know, I was trying to do the opposite of a commentator's curse for you. When you went into Cave Magnus and got that tower key early, I was hoping that the tower key would be absolutely 100% required, and that everything would work out for you. And it turns out I don't have the gift of giving a commentator's blessing, sadly.
Nobody has that gift, though. Literally no one does, so it's okay.
What did you think about the seed, though?
Yeah.
I saw all of it, it feels like, so I feel good about it. I went to the moon like I expected to, and I was looking at Zot and going, I'll leave that behind. I don't need the characters, it's fine.
That was one thing that Z-Man brought up, that your other 3 main initial restream competitors, none of them went to Mount Hobbs early. So you got there early and got Rosa, so you had a team that was pretty much ready to fight Zeromus right off the bat. A bunch of other people were still rocking, Tella, stuff like that. So they went to Zot to check the 2 characters, and just happened to get the crystal at the same time.
Ouch. Yeah, and they got a white mage up there too. White mage of their choice, in fact.
But why would you choose anyone other than Rosa?
Yeah, good point. You never choose anyone other than Rosa if you have the choice. It's okay.
I approve this message.
Alright, I guess now that the White Mage Appreciation Hour is over, thank you so much for the GGs. I'm glad I finished. I should probably go to bed.
Hey, great job tonight. Good job sticking with it. You definitely showed everyone how to beat up the moon. And have a good night.
Thanks, you too.
So do we want to wrap this up now?
Nora?
Oh, nope. It looks like we're going to stay live until Bill finishes, it looks like.
Okay.
Cool.
We do have a 13th place finisher, Silent Sigil, wrapped up with a time of 2 hours, 28 minutes, and 59 seconds.
So with Bill Boddix here, getting near finishing. So who do we have still left? We have Looney Cloud, Sho Fukumachi, Neon Gray, Ravlin, Ovoke Jam. Those are the ones that are left that are still racing. So.
Just a few to go.
It's a good thing we found an easy seed this week, right?
Yeah, no kidding. I was all ready for, some sort of troll job like, I don't know, Kainatsu at Rubicant, or, Wyvern holding the crystal or something like that.
Z-Man and I were joking earlier about how we've managed to successfully evade 2 E0 seeds with our commentary, and how you definitely won't allow us to do it a third time. So the third time's going to be the one where it's like a 2.5 hour seed for everyone. I can already feel it.
Oh yeah.
When we have no more ways to hide, that's when it'll be nasty.
Oh wait, you volunteered for commentary? Nope. Great.
River's just like, I got it this week, guys. You go race. Have fun. Enjoy.
You know, I really appreciate how evil you guys are. I think that's a good look for me.
Hey, putting that spoon to good use, Bobotics. Pew!
The only one we've seen tonight that has that has actually used the spoon on Zeromus. Oh no, the Damarin probably did too, because she had the spoon, I think.
Mm-hmm. Oh, but no, she didn't have edge.
Picky.
Yeah, it looks like trying to find somebody that we can host later. Looks like Show is still hanging out on the lunar subterranean.
I've already gotten word from our wonderful restreamer that we're going to go to Randomania 2, who's doing a Z2R Max Rando race once Bill finishes up with Zeromus.
Oh, hey, look at that. That's what they call in the business good timing, huh? But yeah, if you guys want to continue watching these runs, Show Fukumachi, twitch.tv/Show Fukumachi is still playing and is on his way down the subterranean. Now,
is he diving the subterranean with the crystal in tow, or is he still searching for it?
That I don't know. He does not have a tracker up, so...
Oh, it's a mystery to everyone.
I think he may have it, though. He does have crystal checked. I just don't know how his splits usually go. Maybe doing extra grinding here. Anyway, Bill's fight's going well.
Getting those Cure 4s off in time.
And now just darting anything he can.
Lord knows that if you go deep enough into the siege, you find enough things to dart.
Too many, though. A lot of his list was pretty grayed out.
And it looks like Fu is starting to run a little low on MP as well.
Oh, is this going to kill Edge? Nah.
This might, though. Well nerfed.
Pat Frapp, this boss is from Final Fantasy Mystic Quest.
Yep, this is the end boss of Final Fantasy Mystic Quest, the Dark King.
A game which you should play, if for no other reason than its amazing soundtrack.
Yeah, its soundtrack is wonderful.
I agree, as long as you never ever speedrun it.
How do you speedrun that game? I mean, it's not fast.
Now, there's some actually really cool glitches that you can pull to cut out large swaths of the game. I saw it televised for last year's Limit Break, and my mind was ever so slightly blown by it.
There are some great speedrun strats to actually get through it, yeah. The only problem is that you're still playing Final Fantasy Mystic Quest.
Well, I do know that I've seen the speedrun tactic for the Dark King here, and that's pretty cool.
Yeah, by I believe underflowing your items, you gain access to certain key items early, and you basically skip the entire fire quadrant of the map.
Yeah, the best speedruns of that game are under sub 2, as Silverfire points out, but only if you get 4 too. There's a lot of RNG variants in that game. It's a very irritating game to try to play in a speedrun sense. Though, I mean, if you can do it, you've got the fortitude to do it. I'm sure it can be a lot of fun too. Just saying, from my perspective, from the outside vantage point, I wouldn't touch that thing.
You say that just because of how Pazuzu's floor is random, so you don't know how your time's going to clock in until that point?
Yeah. So Bill running into MP problems with Fu, just letting him drop here.
And Sid also takes a... Yeah, I was going to say takes a knee, but no, he's pretty well flat on the ground.
I would say that it takes a dirt nap, but I don't think there's dirt anymore. Hey, there's the meteor. Okay. You got this, Bill.
Clutch it out. Ooh, came barely up after that meteor. That's nice.
Hey!
And there it is.
Bill Boddick's finishing in 14th place with an official time of 2:36 and 3 seconds.
So GG to all our finishers, and to the ones who quit, I'm sorry.
This is all your fault. They are all going to expect handwritten letters and 5-minute head starts next week.
Do you think that'll help?
No, that's why it's so funny.
Aw. You could take me with 5 minutes. You need to play.
I can take you with 0 minutes. It's happened twice.
You can do that as well. I'm not saying.
All right, gentlemen. So, any final comments before we get moving for the evening?
I think we've said pretty much everything. Thanks for everyone for coming by and watching the race. Make sure you jump into the Discord, join us, start racing with us. I'd love to see 50 people, at every weekly race myself.
Next week's flags won't be this bad. I promise.
A little preview of next week's flags real quick. We're running at K2 again with the J items on. Glitchless is still on, but at least this time this is a T3 S2 seed. So we're going to have a little bit better items, although the NFL flag, the no free lunch flag will be activated. So we're going to have less characters, but encounters will be optional. Yay! So, I think with that, we're going to kick it over to Randomania 2 for a Z2 Max Rando race. It has been a blast, my friend.
Fun as always, Z-Man. Looking forward to the next time. But for the next few weeks, let's get some races in ourselves. What do you say?
I absolutely agree. I think I'm definitely going to be racing this one next week. We always need to thank Narastra, our restreamer, and Night Dew for some excellent tracking work. Thank you two very much. Rivers, you're a devious person creating this flag set. Let me tell you.
I feel no remorse.
Good.
It's probably for the best.
We need to do a K4 one of these times for a weekly. Then we can talk deviousness.
We did a K4.
It was my first
the only
race.
person to finish in the first hour and a half. Does that sound familiar?
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, okay, that's right. That was the first weekly I took place in.
Yep.
Same, and I was next to last place. But I stuck around, so you all should too.
I absolutely agree. All right, ladies. Yep. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I think that's going to do it for us. For Rivers McCown, for Invenerable, I am Z-Man. Ladies and gentlemen, have a good night. Let's go say hi to Randomania 2.